So, a little bit of an embarrassing story. Yesterday, I was filming a video for something else, not for this channel. Eventually, I got a phone call and I muted my mic on OBS, and I never turned it back on. So, when I went to film the daily value video yesterday, hence why I didn't post yesterday, um, my mic was muted the entire time while I answered your guys' questions for an hour straight. So, after that happened, when I realized it, I basically went ahead and cried myself to sleep, and then no, I'm just kidding, but I was embarrassed, or I was so mad because I genuinely gave I was spitting gems. I was spitting gems, man. But oh well, it happens. We missed a day. I did not want to record after that because I was just so mad at myself. But anyway, we move on and let's just dive into the comments again. So sorry guys if I hearted your comments, but I didn't end up making a video on it. It's because of that. So just re-comment it and I'll get around to it. Apologies for that. But we move on and let's go and dive into some more questions. So yeah, man, I gave so many gems here, but it's fine. All right, so hey Diego, this is my channel and I've been posting daily for 3 months. And my niche is really good too, but my channel is not blowing up. No matter what I do, please help me out. I really depend on this. I make quality beats too. All right, so, oh yeah, this is the channel I've reviewed. Okay, so I think he like commented this like a lot, but I reviewed your channel, I think yesterday or the day before that. So I'd go ahead and watch that. Diego, bro, can you review my Type B channel as what should I do to grow it? It's been a year and I'm not able to grow it as big as I want to. It would be a great help for sure. Okay, yeah, so I actually reviewed your channel in yesterday's video that was gonna come out, but I was muted the whole time. But I actually like the niche, and I have a student who's also in the same niche. If you're doing this niche, you probably know his channel because he studied it. His name's Vincia. He's crushing it on this niche. I think it's a good niche. However, for you, I would go for more thumbnails that are like not the artist thumbnails. And like, to be honest, this isn't really that good of a thumbnail either. I would do stuff more like the jewelry aesthetic. I think that's a lot better. Stuff like that. It also seems to be an outlier compared to your other usual videos. So definitely be doing that with your thumbnails. I don't mind you doing this niche, but maybe consider adding like Milwaukee in the title because I know that's what Vinci is doing. So it's completely up to you, but I don't mind you doing this niche though. I think it's solid. I think you just have a thumbnail problem more than anything. That's with me. Just I haven't been able to hear your beats. I'm just gonna assume you have good beats, but yeah, I really think you have a thumbnail problem more than anything. So if you just fix that, I think you'll start seeing a lot better of a click-through rate, and that will just lead to more clicks, more views, you know. So hopefully that helps. When you say you were running 17 channels at the same time, did you get banned a lot? And if not, what is your process when creating a new Gmail or YouTube account? I was running 60 channels at the same time, uploading every day in 2023 to 2024, but I must have created like 300 channels to keep 60, but I ran up 900,000 plays on BeatStars, so it's def worth the pain. Wow, 60 channels throughout those 2 years. That's quite a bit. And yeah, that's definitely, I mean, I did the same method. That's how I got to BeatStars Black too, but so it's definitely a good method. But you're wondering more about like how not to get banned a lot. I never really got banned. The only time I got banned was on AdSense, and that was when I was 15. That was the first time I monetized the channel. My dumbass decided to use my real age, and of course that's against their TOS, so they banned my AdSense account and banned the ability for that channel to ever get monetized. But that led to me starting a new channel in the same niche, which ended up touching 60,000 subs. So that kind of worked out. But I've never really gotten banned. I think the main thing is to right when you create the channel, immediately verify it with like the video verification. It's like a quick and easy thing. That's a good way, you know, just to verify that you're a human. I think that's the only way I can think of though. Hope that helps, brother. Hi bro, I'm running this channel since last year and I did everything, but I don't know why my channel is getting fall day by day. This because of my niche. Please give me some advice. Okay, that was hard to read, but your channel is falling day by day. I think it's okay. So the reason why this is look, honestly, I think you're a little unfocused just off the bat. I think you're a little unfocused with the niche. One day you're doing free for profit. The next day you're doing just free. The next day you're having trap type beat in the title. The next day you're doing a thumbnail like this. The next day you're doing a Travis Scott thumbnail. The next day you're doing a car thumbnail. Then you have Jack Boys. It's kind of all over the place. So if you're gonna go the free for profit route, I definitely would go all in with that. Now you've been doing this for 182 uploads, 280 subs. Like I probably would start a new channel, but before you start it, make sure you 100% know exactly the format that you're going to be going with instead of like just being all over the place with your current channel. Hopefully that makes sense. I always recommend, like, yeah, if you're going to start a new channel, do it, but just make sure you know what you're going to be doing on that channel, right? Don't just wing it, because I mean, starting a new channel without a clear formula in mind, without a clear structure, you're still going to get no results. You know, it doesn't matter if it's a new channel or not. If you don't have a clear strategy, then dude, you're not going to get any results. So that's the main thing I recommend. But yeah, hopefully that helps, bro. Yo, man, so last time you told me to start doing black and white thumbnails since that suits my niche, but in this video you told me to do green thumbnails since my most viewed videos in that style. Keep in mind that I also tried doing similar night vision green thumbnails afterwards with no major increase in views. I wonder what the average view duration was on that, by the way. You also said that me briefly changing niche and not taking advantage of the correction isn't terrible for my channel, but weren't super clear how cooked my channel is subsequently. I don't know if I read that right. I didn't really do that good in school. Sorry for the long comment. I'm just curious what's the best for me moving forward. Yeah, so the first time, the reason why I said to do black and white thumbnails is just because the first time I looked at the channel, I didn't actually look at your most popular videos. Now, immediately when I look here, I see, okay, your most viewed video is a green thumbnail, the rest aren't. That's an outlier, right? So you're always going to be looking for outliers, even if you dropped a green night vision thumbnail or video, right? And it didn't perform the way your first one did. Well, guess what? Not every video has the same average view duration. Not every video is going to have the same retention. You're sticking to the rule. That is important. Okay, so if you had an outlier here, number one, you want to try and replicate that sound, the same success, right? Or the reasons why this video or the beat performs so well. And then also you want to be like just because one video blows up and then the next one gets not that good of a retention, okay, that's just the beat. The rule didn't change though. The beat changed. So if you post 30 night vision thumbnail videos in a row and you know that is what works, you know that's the correct outlier, then one is going to hit, right? And now it's not down to luck, it's down to probability, right? So just because one format works doesn't mean it's going to work every single time, and your views are just going to keep increasing and it will never go down. That's not how it works, right? If that's how it works, I'd be a millionaire right now. So you constantly have to just be focusing on the rule, and that is what's important with this game. So hopefully that makes sense and kind of like gives you some clarity. But good question though. Hey Diego, what do you think about creating a new subgenre like how Trap Soul became a subgenre of R&B, using similar artist keywords but also the new subgenre in the title, or would that work against the algorithm? I don't mind you doing subgenres. I actually think it's how you get more micro niche. Now, creating a new subgenre, like if you're creating it yourself, I don't know how that would necessarily play out, but the main thing is like I think you can create demand. I think you can create your own niche. For example, supply and demand works in two different ways, right? You can either see the supply or you see the demand for something, right? So you see, wow, there's a lot of people that they really like, you know, a certain type of beat, right? They're really happy. They're all flocking to that style, right? And what does that mean? Okay, there's demand. So now it's up to you to decide, and you can use tools like vidIQ for this or whatever you want to use. I usually, honestly, most of the time I'm just using my eyes, looking at just incognito YouTube and just seeing, you know, how that's playing out, what the competition is looking like. So you know the demand is there, and then you just see, okay, how much supply is there? Are there people doing it, right? And so if there's a low supply, then you know, okay, I can fill this gap. There's a gap in the market. Now, another way you can go about it, the only other way you can go about it, is by creating the demand. So if you create the demand, and I'm not saying create a subgenre, but creating a micro niche. So if there is nobody, like, you know, people like, for example, Drake 2011 R&B type beats, right? You know people like that sound. So if you know that, and you know they want that specific sound, they want that thing that no one else is making, then you know, okay, there's automatically zero supply, okay? Because no one is doing that. Everyone's just doing Drake type beat as a whole, doing the modern trap style with Drake, right? But no one is doing that. So you know, okay, I can create the demand because there are people out there that like this. Guess what? There's 8 billion people on this earth. There's bound to be a couple thousand people that really want this, and there's a lot more than a couple thousand. So now you have a micro niche, and then you fill the supply with your channel by just flooding the market, right? And so since no one's doing it, you create the niche because you're doing it in your own way, you're doing it in your own style. You could have a specific theme to your channel along with that specific sound that you're supplying, right? That's how you can do that. I don't recommend creating a genre with a whole new name that no one knows about and never heard about because no one even knows what it is. I recommend going for a specific sound that already exists and then just flooding the market with that, right? Supplying that demand. But hopefully that answers your question. Do you still recommend a brand new channel to post twice a day, or is once good enough? I think it depends on the niche, and also depends on your current life situation, what your current schedule is like. I think once a day is good enough though. I think that's plenty. What's good, Diego? I just restarted my Typee channel recently, about a month ago. I have 3 different Typee channels because I'm trying to figure out what niche is best for me and then triple down on that niche if it takes off. Yeah, fair enough. Not a bad strategy. I'm commenting from my Boom Bap channel, but I also have a R&B Trap Soul type beat and Soulful type beat channel linked on this channel's bio page. Can you be honest and tell me if this is the wrong way to go about it and if I should just stick it out with one niche for 3 months straight instead of trying to do all 3? I don't mind you doing all 3. Reason why, like if you can, right? If you have the time for it. The reason why is because you're just tripling your odds of seeing one do well, right? You're tripling the odds. So I don't mind you doing that. And then just looking at your channel real quick. Yeah, this is cool. Okay, so I have reviewed your channel in the past. I don't mind you doing it though, because you're just tripling your odds. This is a great micro niche here as well. I love it. Very cool. But yeah, to answer your question, I don't mind you doing that. I think it's solid. I've done that myself too. If I'm going for a specific niche, sometimes I make 2 or 3 channels on the same niche, but just in a slightly different way to see what picks up first. And then whatever picks up first, I just, go with that. For your private coaching also, do you turn down clients even if they have the funds to pay, but maybe their beats are not up to par yet in terms of quality? Yes, right. I mean, if someone doesn't, they could have, $100,000 to give me. Not that I charge that, but they could have $1 million to give me, but if their beats suck, I can't help them. So it's like the coaching, like you have to apply for it, and I have to review you. My team has to review you, and then you have to, of course, also have the funds for it, right? And so it is not easy to become a client, but if you have good beats and you do have the funds available, then yeah, we can work, right? But that's why not a lot of people end up doing that, because there's only a small amount of people who are, one, ready to work with me financially, right? But also have really good quality and are versatile and are ready, just to listen to my advice. But I'm interested in working with you, but definitely want to make sure my beats are of quality to work with. Yeah, I mean, so when you apply, you can just DM me on Instagram. I'll get back to you, and then you can just send me some beats like on there. And then if you're cool, if you have the funds too, then great. We can get started. But good questions, all 3. Very good. First, Getting Gems here. Yes, sir. You're number 1. Let's go. Hi, bro. I'm running this channel since last year, and I did everything. Okay, it's the same question. Guys, if you just commented once, I know I say this in every video. If you just commented once, I will get to it, because I go from the bottom to the top. So commenting it later doesn't actually make a difference, because I'm going to see the original comment first anyway. Just putting that out there. Cannot wait for what you're having next for us. Absolutely. Hypothetically speaking, is 150 average view duration good for most of my beats being 3 minutes? Absolutely. That's great. My biggest beat has a 2-minute 22-second average view duration and 79% retention rate. How's that sound? That's very good. Very good. At that point, I recommend just trying a bunch of different thumbnails if the beats haven't taken off yet. But it's very, very good. Oh yeah, and another thing, I've seen R&B x Boom Bap niche working. How can 2 complete different ideas work together? Because like R&B kind of is just like smooth, like R&B, I guess, just like that type of sound, and then you combine it with just Boom Bap drums, basically. That's kind of how it works. It's definitely a micro niche that has spawned lately, and I think it does really good. It's very specific, and the people that are doing that seem to be getting really good results. I have a student doing that niche, and he's doing very, very good results. So I don't see it as a bad niche at all. When repurposing beats for use on multiple channels, which I've seen you speak on other videos, how concerned are you in regard to reuse content policy? Are you reposting identical beats? Are you only concerned with generating more sales and not monetizing it through AdSense? So generally, like if the video has a different thumbnail, a different visualizer, different title format, you should be good. If you run into problems, just change the beat like down a semitone or something, and now you're good, right? But I'm not concerned on just sales or just monetization. I definitely want it all. But if you run into problems, yeah, just change the beat like down a semitone or 2, and it won't matter. And you can just have the same beat on BeatStars too. You don't have to post 2 different versions or anything, because no one really gives a shit if it's 1 semitone up or 1 semitone down. They're not even gonna notice. So hopefully that makes sense though. Yo, Diego, what is the best strategy for doing lith type beats? Mainly the thumbnail, title, and arrangement. Thanks for dropping value daily. So number one, if I'm doing lift type beats, I'm doing green thumbnails. That's just the thumbnail format for that niche. Title, I've actually covered this actually. I think I have this somewhere. Gave an example of if I was doing lift type beats, what I would do. Yeah, okay, so I found it. The title format I'd go for is exactly this. Night vision, green thumbnails. I'd probably use girls as a thumbnail as well. And then as far as like metadata, you know, just make sure all the tags like, you know, lift type beat 2025, free lift type beat, make sure all of it makes sense with the title. Don't steer away and do like free Ariana Grande type beat. I mean, you know, make it make sense. But that's my best advice for that niche in the shortest amount of time that I can do it for each question. But hey Diego, thanks for all the great content you share. What's your take on AI platforms like Suno and Udio and how they might impact the type beat scene? If you believe they could have a negative effect, what can producers do to adapt? I don't think it will affect anything because it's not good content. It's not there yet. Like, especially like you can't AI generate a beat with perfect retention and, you know, implementing retention hacks, and you can't implement a beat with the proper arrangement structure for type beats and in a specific niche. Like that takes knowledge to know that AI doesn't have, because most people don't have this knowledge, right? It's people like me that do, because we've just been in the space for so long. And that's not something that can be just AI generated like knowledge. No, that knowledge comes from experience. So it's completely different. So I don't think AI is going to affect the game, the type beat game, not for another decade at least. Like I really don't think we're anywhere near there, just because people don't like that, right? If they're buying, they don't want to buy an AI generated beat. They'd want it just for free. If anything, people buy from humans, people buy from people, you know. So I just don't think it's going to affect anything. But yeah, good conversation though. Definitely a good conversation to have. What's good, Diego? What's your experience with the Type B channels focusing on UK artists? Thinking of going for Santan Dave ahead of his album dropping next week. Is it worth doing the UK stuff with the lower ceiling? I think UK is cool. I don't mind it. I think it's not a bad niche at all. Okay, this is your content channel, but I think like it's cool. I mean, there's Central C. I'm not too tapped into that niche or to that genre, but I don't think it's bad though. I also don't think there's a lower ceiling. I think there's people that get 100,000 subs on UK that are crushing it, and so I would just study more of those guys. But I don't think it's bad to do UK artists. I've never actually done it just because I never really enjoyed making those beats too much, but I'm excited for the day I get a student that actually wants to do a channel like that, because I definitely blow someone up on it. But yeah, no, I think it's a good niche. To answer your question, I don't think it's bad at all. I don't think there's a lower ceiling either. I think there's a huge demand for that. Hello Diego, my Type B channel got a subscriber and later it will be gone. I mean, it's like YouTube removes the subscribers. Why always like that? So I don't know, actually. Either you're doing something fishy to gain subs, or people just don't like the content. You know, first of all, you haven't posted in a year, so it's like you're also posting Among Us, and then, you know, you're kind of all over the place with the content. Maybe they just don't end up liking the content, and so they unsubscribe. That's the only thing I can think of. Unless you're doing something fishy like buying subscribers, then those will always leave, right? But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Thank you so much for the review, Diego. I'll follow the advice you gave me, and I'll give you some news about them soon. Awesome. Glad to help. Glad I could help, man. Hey man, you be dropping the sauce. Bless you. God bless you, bro. I started this channel about 2 months ago. I've started using more retention hacks and trying to make my thumbnails better. I've seen the click-through rate go up and the average view duration, and it's working slowly. Okay, great. Anything else you can see I can change or do better? Let me take a look. Glad to see some things are definitely improving already. That's awesome. Okay, very good niche. Good micro niche. I love it. Your art style is solid. Very cool. I like your titles. I like this. I actually don't know how good Samino as far as like a keyword is. It doesn't seem too bad though. This is a brand new channel, so I like this. I recommend studying my student Vincia too. He had a channel in this niche. He does pretty good. I think his channel is like Vincia 2, but it's like this. Yeah, you gotta spell it like that. But I think this is solid. I don't mind you doing this niche. I like your theme. I think it's for you at this point, it's just more of like a time thing. And I'd say maybe like stick more with what's really working instead of like doing other keywords like this. Just get one thing to work first and then go from there. But I like it, man. I like your theme. I think it's cool. If you're starting a new channel, do you think it's better to post once a day or go for 2 posts a day in the first week? If you can do 2 a day in the first week, then do it. If not, once a day is perfect. Yo, Diego, how do you find niches or artists that are popping? Like when I try to search up type beats for research, the same few channels show up. So I actually have like a little software I made for myself that allows me to do this and see like what niches are popping in the last 30 days, what niches have gotten the most views. But honestly, like if you're going for niches that are popping and just going for views, it's like that's pretty easy, you know, freestyle type B, R&B type B, Drake type B, Travis Scott type B, right? But if you're going for a micro niche, something that doesn't get that many views but gets a ton of sales, then I think it's different, right? I think you're not necessarily going to be wanting to look for views. You're going to want to look for demand for a specific sound, right? More than anything. But in general, man, like sometimes I would sit on the YouTube algorithm just scrolling through the suggested, clicking one beat after another until I saw a keyword that I didn't know that was getting, you know, maybe 70,000 views in the first 5 days. You know, then I'd be like, oh, okay, this is a new niche. Oh, that's kind of like a general process you can go with that. And then I answered this question already today. Should I post my beats on a BeatStore or my own Shopify store? Everyone is familiar and comfortable with BeatStars, but Shopify allows me to sell custom products and marketing. If you have both, have them both available. Yeah, so I recommend, I mean, Shopify is cool. I definitely like where you're going with like a custom website, and then, you know, you'll be able to have custom products like services or beat packs, stuff like that, vocal presets, all that. In my Sell Beats Online challenge, I will be talking more about this though. I recommend registering for the Sell Beats Online challenge if you haven't yet already. Definitely sign up for the Sell Beats Online challenge. It's completely free, and I'll be diving into starting a micro niche type B channel, optimizing it, and then monetizing it with a custom website and with landing pages and advanced funnels and stuff that you can create in under an hour. So I'll be going over that, but yeah, that's where you'll get the best advice for that specifically. Hey Diego, sorry for another question. You've answered loads of mine. Dude, ask away. No problem. Beat packs, do you prefer Shopify standalone landing page or BeatStars album? Shopify is cool. But like I just answered, I would wait for my Sell Beats Online challenge, where I'll be diving into how you can do this very easily and like fast too. You know, in under an hour, you can set up a full funnel. So definitely wait for that. And then secondly, do you promote this on your own site or the pro page? Definitely use a custom site. You'll just get better conversions. But again, I'll be breaking down what actually gets higher conversions and how to actually go about that in the Sell Beats Online challenge. I'd love to know the best way to make a beat pack. Thanks again. Yes, sir. You'll hear all about that. I would answer it all now, but it's like that would take 3 hours, which I'm going to be doing anyway in the challenge. So it's like not really a point. I'm going to be sharing that very soon, the 24th. Okay, so I'll be sharing that very soon on November 3rd. Thank you again for all the incredible value you provide for the community. Much appreciated. Absolutely, man. Glad I can help. I have started a second and third channel as suggested, with both on different type beats. Should I create a new email address for both, or can I use the same email for both? I recommend just making 2 different emails. Keep things organized. That's usually how I've done it. So how can you tell these are bots? So I can always tell a bot views just from like experience, to be honest. That's the only way I can tell, is just from experience, skin in the game. Usually like an easy way to tell too is if the video has like 50,000 views but has 200 likes, there you go. Just the ratio doesn't add up, but that's usually how you can tell. Hey Diego, I'm having a horrible click-through rate, 3%. Oof. Yeah, I'm not sure what to improve. I tried a new thumbnail format, but I'm still getting bad results. Do you have any tips or recommendations? I appreciate the content and what you've been doing for the community. Absolutely. Glad you're enjoying it. Okay, so you're doing the Brent Faiyaz XO deal. I like this. I would probably make this just a full thumbnail though. I wouldn't have this little rounded edge. I like these thumbnails too. Okay, so you just are getting consistent again. That's probably why your click-through rate's so low. You went on a channel that you've already had. It is in the same niche, so it's like, it's fine. You're getting decent views considering the long gap. I think you can still go with this channel, but definitely start a second one. And I think you mentioned that you're doing that. Okay, that was someone else. Never mind. But I would start a second channel as well with the same beats. Just on a fresh channel though, and I bet you'll see, you know, maybe you'll see better results on that, and if not, it's like one of them will take off, you know. So you're just increasing your chances. But I like this. I would get rid of the parental advisory content sticker. Get rid of it. It lowers your click-through rate, so that's another piece of advice. Yeah, I don't mind you doing black and white thumbnails. I would just make these not rounded at the edges. But hopefully that helps. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks so much for watching and commenting these great questions. I hope I helped and provided value in some way. We'll be back answering questions tomorrow as usual. But yeah, guys, make sure to drop more questions and make sure to register for the Sell Beats Online Challenge. It's essential for your growth and it's free, you know, so you might as well. I'll be dropping so much gems, the most gems I've ever dropped, all in the space of 3 days. And so yeah, it's free too. So go ahead and register for that, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.